What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Kick-Ass Podcast. We are here today to take a look at WWE Bad Blood, the PLE that is airing from Atlanta, Georgia, State Farm Arena, I'm pretty certain of. I was trying to go to the show, made every intention to do so, but the cards did not pan out that way. Ticket prices were insane. Last I checked, for nosebleed seats after fees and everything were going to be included, were like $350. That was, the scalpers out there who bought and resold, but I just can't justify that. You know what I mean? Like, that's more than I paid for Mania. So yeah, I just can't do that. But that's cool because that means I get to watch it live. Well, I just still have to work tomorrow, but I'll be able to watch it in a different perspective and not have to wait to watch back. Because when I do review shows, I try to give my live in person perspective and then go back and rewatch it, and then give another take. So yeah, with that being said, I just want to clear that up, just to make sure there's no false pretenses or anything like that. But I will be able to go live, get into the business portion over at Brass Ring Media tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. So definitely check me out over there. We'll be talking Bad Blood as well, a bit more in depth. But I just wanted to get a little bit of prediction show here and talk about it really quick before I have to jump over to my part time. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you as always for checking out the show here. If you're following me over on Twitter at Kickash Podcast _ I appreciate that. You can follow me personally as well at ASHMANNS. You can, if you're not watching on YouTube, you can subscribe and follow this over there. Like, comment, all that good stuff. Whatever you feel like doing. I'm not really pressed for stuff like that. It's appreciated. It's cool to interact with you guys, but I'm not, I'm not one of those people out there like really trying to push for that. I'm just here just to have fun, and just here to vent, like I've said before, and talk about wrestling. With that being said, we're gonna move over to the card and get right to it. There have been some reports that the lineup has come out officially, who's going to be opening and closing the show. It's not really surprising to me. I was hoping they were gonna switch it up a bit, but I understand, with the people that we have in play. It does look like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in the Hell in a Cell are going to open the show, and then Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns facing off against the Bloodline are going to be in the main event. So we'll start with the opener. I'm and just I wish it's maybe it's not that big of a deal, but I just wish they would have put Punk and McIntyre in the main event with the Cell and just the history and everything. I don't know. And again, like I just said, I get why they didn't, but I don't know. I just maybe would have made a different call there, and maybe they will. We'll see. That's just rumors and innuendo that have come out right now. But yeah, like I said, starting off with the projected opener right now, Punk and McIntyre. There's not much left to be said in regards to this feud and to this story. I think this is going to be the curtain call, if you will, for these guys. And I think this is going to be the swan song for now. And I think it needs to be. Not to say they're never going to come back and revisit this feud or interact with each other. I can see them interacting in the Rumble, and messing with each other over and preventing. I don't know. I think this needs to be kind of the nail in the coffin for these two, as of at least right now. But again, coffins can be reopened, and yeah, if you ever need to come back to these two, you definitely can. If one of them becomes champion down the road, you can always have an easy way back to that point for a contender and things like that. So I don't see this being a finality in that sense, and I guess nothing in wrestling truly is anyway. But at least for now, and for this one, I want to say Drew's gonna win, but I think, and as crazy as it is, I think Punk may need the win a little bit more for this feud, right? Um, just to continue to build. I hate to say momentum, because I don't want to be one of those keywords, but just to continue his path to the eventual championship. I think down the road, maybe more sooner than we think. I think he's gonna want to face off against Gunther. He had already tried to mention that when he beat Drew to begin with. So I think they're going to try to get back to that. I still think it's too soon for Punk to go right after the champion. So I think it may be another one of those situations where he tries to call out Gunther and maybe someone else interrupts him, and then we get in kind of like another grudge feud. I don't want to see him go back to Seth. I think it's a good sign that Seth is going to be tied up with Bronson Reed, so we don't have to worry about that. I just want to see Punk do something new. The stuff he's done with Drew, I think, has been very good, but it's time for a change, as Owen Hart would say. And I think the time is now at Bad Blood for Punk to win. I think it's going to be, and I think it should be a brutal match. I think we should see blood. If we don't see blood, I'm going to be just blown away. And I think that's a given. You know, if I had money to put down on it, if there's bets anywhere, that would be a given, right? I wonder where you can bet. Well, in Florida you can't. It's weird. But yeah, so long story short, I think my pick is gonna be CM Punk here. I would be kind of surprised if Drew pulls out the victory here. If in my opinion, it would have to be someone interfering, which is I hate in cell matches and cage matches, so I hope they don't do that. But yeah, my official pick is Punk is gonna win, and we move on to something next for both of these guys. And I think it's gonna be good for Drew too to see what he can do and continue to grow and to continue to adapt as his heel persona and this more confident side of him, which has just been gold. Next up, we have Nia Jax versus Bailey for the women's championship. This one I think is I'm the only question I really have with this one is if we see a attempted cash in from Tiffy, you know, if it's gonna be Tiffy time. Just with the played up friction with Nia Jax and Nia Jax being the bully to Tiffany, I think it would be it just depends on how quickly they want to pull the trigger with Tiffany too, and if they want to fully make her a baby face. I'm still 50-50 on if they want to, because they're just kind of making her like a chicken, not like a chicken shit heel, but just not a very confident heel. So she's kind of just still in that building zone, and it's just I think that they honestly should have probably I don't know. I was gonna say maybe keep her baby face or turned her baby face rather. Just thinking back at that reaction that she got at the Elimination Chamber, I think that they could have really built on something, and I think they still can when they officially turn her. I just don't think it's gonna happen here right now. Maybe we get like a tease of that happening, but I don't see Bailey regaining the championship here. I see Nia retaining. And I just feel like Charlotte Flair is just around the corner, so it's only a matter. And of course, with Andrade being there on SmackDown, I'm wondering if we get a Charlotte appearance here. It would just kind of make sense to me too. But if we don't get it here from Charlotte, maybe within the next month or so, unless I just feel like saving her to Rumble is a little bit too far out. But depending on, of course, on her recovery too, she may not be ready. But I feel like maybe I'm not gonna say she should be, but you would think just timeline wise with typical injuries of that comparison. Again, not that every injury is the same as the other one. Every injury is different, but the general time frame of that is you would peg her to be back. So that's always kind of in the back of my mind. So we'll see. But my official pick is Nia Jax retaining here. As much as I'd love to see Bay win, just don't see that happening right now. But moving over to the Judgment Day side of things, we have Damian Priest facing off against Finn Balor. I'm kind of going to blend this one into the Liv match with Rhea Ripley. This one, I think, to me, I see the Judgment Day taking the clean sweep again. I think Judgment Day is due, maybe not due for a win. Maybe that's a little bit too strong, but I think they're going to continue this, and I think the way to do that is to have Judgment Day win. So I think there's going to be some type of interference in the Judgment Day or from the Judgment Day in the Balor and Priest match that they're going to somehow cost Damian Priest, and Balor's going to win. I think Balor probably needs it too. Damian Priest is strong, and I think depending on how you set up the laws, especially if it's a BS, you know, someone like Dominic, for instance, interferes. I think that you could get away with it, and I think you can continue this a little bit further. Yeah, and I think I'm not tired of it yet. So I'm not even as down on it as maybe I would be in normal situations, but this one I'm going Balor's going to retain here, and kind of like I said, bleeding over into the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley match. I kind of am going that route for the same reason. I have Liv retaining here as much as I would fucking love Rhea Ripley to regain the gold here. I think Liv is going to retain, even though Dirty Dom is going to be hoisted into Shark Cage, which I think is going to be a funny visual. I think we'll get some type of interference from him still. I think he has something in his pocket that he drops down to Liv at a certain moment, and Liv uses that as an opportunity to, if it's like a hammer or knucks, like brass knucks or something like that, something, or a chain, something to whack Ripley with and be able to discard of it quickly to get the victory and to retain the goal. And I think, again, that's another way for Dominic to technically be following the rules, you know, and not be directly involved, but to still be screwing Rhea over. It protects Rhea, you know, and it doesn't let her lose cleanly, but Liv is still getting the victory here. So yeah, I think it checks a lot of boxes, and it continues the feud. The main issue is going to be the week to week content, but luckily they are reducing down to 2 hours for Raw each week, so you're not required to fill as much content. So that could be a plus for the Judgment Day as well. And finally, the main event. I've actually been a little bit torn on this one. Just because I think the Bloodline need the victory more than Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and I think it'd be fun to see the dismay and the turmoil between Reigns and Cody, especially depending on who takes the pinfall. With Cody being, this is gonna be crazy, and it most likely won't happen, but I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say the Bloodline does win. I'm gonna say Solo pins Roman, and it's probably asinine and just ludicrous. But for some quick picks here, and just to kind of be different and to shake shit up, and to go against the grain, right? For all all those whatever sayings you want to throw out there, I'm gonna go Solo pins Roman. It's gonna be a typical bloodline match. It's gonna be one of those marathon matches. Everyone and their brothers is gonna get involved. Maybe we see Jimmy, because Roman Reigns did mention Jimmy. I don't think we get a return of Paul Heyman here yet. I think you would save him for maybe like a Rumble. Just because I think you want that to be a little bit more just in a different setting, I'm going to say. But I do think this would be a proper setting for Jimmy, for him to come back, for the name of the pay-per-view, the PLE rather, the situation, the bloodline being involved, everything. I think this would be a good opportunity for him to come back. I still want Jay to be kept solo, no pun intended, and just away and not involved at all. So yeah, my prediction is Solo wins somehow. I think Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, that always gets me. They're gonna be out there, right? And they're gonna get involved at some point. I think that's why Jimmy's gonna make his return, go out there and try to help Roman. I think the numbers are just gonna be the advantage, and it's just gonna be kind of that same story. And the referee, of course, is gonna be down at some point. People are gonna go through the announce tables, things like that. But I think if you really want to end the show with a bang, you have Solo pin Roman. And again, how you get exactly to that pinfall, what leads specifically up to that, physicality wise, is it's up for wiggle room. But I think that would be fun, and especially if you want to continue this over into War Games. If you need Rome, because if Roman and Cody win here, then what's really the point to continue? So I think continuing on the War Games kind of plays into that a little bit more. It gives a little bit more room in I guess humbleness, and from Roman's side, to ask for help and to get people on his side and to build that team. And apparently, they're taking that show seriously, so they're gonna want a strong card. And I haven't seen any reports. I mean, I'm not as in depth and involved in the social media aspect of keeping up with stuff like that, but I haven't seen that Roman isn't going to be involved in SummerSlam Survivor Series. So we'll see. But that's just kind of some quick thoughts there and some quick picks. Like I said, join me tomorrow over at Brasswing Media at 10 a.m. Eastern live to kind of dig in deeper and a little bit more and maybe get interactive with some live comments and things like that. So definitely check me out over there, but follow me here on YouTube as well if you're just listening to the audio version at Kickash Podcast _. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a good day. Stay safe out there and just enjoy some wrestling, guys. Have a good one.